The Random Jottings of Donald J. in Nelson in Pendle, Lancashire. Barcroft Hall, Burnley. Barcroft Hall is an early 17th century historical house located between Mereclough and Cliviger, about a mile away from Townley, in Burnley. The house was built on the site of an older house, and its plan is shaped in the F style, supposedly in deference to the Virgin Queen. The Barcroft family occupied a high position among the local gentry during the 15th, 16th and 17th centuries. However, on the death of William in 1620, the family's influence began to wane. William left one daughter and 3 sons, the second of whom was described as an idiot. Tradition has it that he was imprisoned in the hall by his younger brother, who, by spreading the report that he was insane, endeavored to obtain possession of the property. He confined his brother in a chamber or cellar beneath the hall, where the unfortunate youth became demented. It is said that his inhumane brother was one night entertaining friends in the banqueting hall when the lunatic burst into the room and pronounced a curse on the estate and family, prophesying that the hall should pass into strangers' hands and the race of Barcroft become extinct. The Barcroft family story has many interesting features. One of their members, William, was a major in Cromwell's army and was offered an estate in Athlone for his services. This he refused because he had in the meantime become a member of the Society of Friends, and he could not accept what had been acquired by the sword. The estate was then offered to and accepted by his second-in-command, the ancestor of the present Lord Castlemaine. John Barcroft, son of the Major, became a well-known Quaker and made many visits to these parts. Other descendants of the family have also visited Barcroft, and not many years ago, one of the family from Ireland actually spent the night at the hall at his own request. The main feature of the house is its fine banqueting hall, with its long mullioned windows, flagged floor, and attractive ingle nook of immense size. At the opposite end of the room is a fine minstrel's gallery running the length of the wall. The size of this elegant example of the Elizabethan era is 36 feet by 24 feet, and is 14 feet high. One tradition of the Barcroft family is that one of their number, William, was a major in Cromwell's army and was offered an estate in Athlone for his services. This he refused because he had in the meantime become a member of the Society of Friends, and he could not accept what had been acquired by the sword. The estate was then offered to and accepted by his second-in-command, the ancestor of the present Lord Castlemaine. John Barcroft, son of the Major, became a well-known Quaker, and made many visits to these parts, and visited the birthplace of his father on at least 2 occasions. He died in 1723. Since that time other descendants of the family have visited Barcroft, and not many years ago one of the family from Ireland actually spent the night at the hall at his own request. The following story is a very ancient one, and probably dates from a time long before the present Barcroft Hall was built. It is said that the farmer's wife at Barcroft on rising in the morning would often find the house swept clean, the fire lighted and other household matters attended to by unseen hands. One cold winter's night the farmer called out from his bedroom to his son to rise and fetch in the sheep into the barn for shelter, when a small squeaking voice called up the stairs, "I'll do it." After a short time the small voice was again heard, crying out, "I've done it, but there was a little brown one that gave me more trouble than all the others." On examination the following morning the farmer found that a fine hare had been housed with the sheep. Mortal eyes had as yet never seen the bot who had proved himself so useful to the household, till the farmer's son, filled with curiosity to see him, bored a hole through the oaken boards of the ceiling above the chamber where the bot appeared. Peeping through the hole early one morning, he saw a little shriveled man barefooted, sweeping the floor. Thinking to perform an act of kindness, the boy got a pair of small clogs made for the old man, and placing them by the fireside at night, he rose early in the morning on purpose to look through the hole and see how his well-meant gift was accepted. The elf walked up to the clogs and took them in its hand, and looking at them carefully, it said, "New clogs, New wood, thopths will never do any more good. After this everything went wrong in the household. Mischief of every kind was found each morning, pots broken, cows sick, and, to crown all, the bull was found across the ridging of the house when the farmer rose early one morning for his day's work. His patience gave way at this last signal proof of the boy's malevolence, and, picking up his goods, he determined to leave the luckless house. Having loaded a cart with furniture, he proceeded on his way across a small bridge at the bottom of the Doe, when he heard a small voice from beneath calling out, "Stop while I've tied my clogs and I'll go with you." "Nay," replied the farmer, "if that going with me, I'll go back again." By Donald J.